Ntare, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Derek?
Good. It's been forever and a day. I've been dying to talk to you, and I'm so happy you're joining me today.
I just listened to your great interview with Katia.
Oh,
Uh,
she's
what
great. Oh,
she's like as much, if not more so, a badass off
she,
screen as she is on screen.
yes,
Martial
yes.
arts expert. You know, I mean, she's just
We had this when the camera went off. Like we had this conversation. Her husband, who's an actor, came on. We talked forever and a day, and I was like, she's just wonderful on and off screen. So,
yeah.
so I want to start with this, right? The third grader who was a pirate in Peter Pan has done pretty well for himself. I'm really happy that you've done well for yourself.
Thank you for digging deep with the research. Yeah, that was my first uh, pull to perform
Yeah.
in Japan.
Yeah. You know where it gets weird too, though? Like, so you go to boarding school in Quebec, right? I just have a few surface questions before we dive
Yeah.
into Dexter. So, but it's like, you don't really find your calling for acting there either because the plays they're doing are like The Crucible and Frank, not exactly roles that you're going to, sow your oats with and just be this like wonderful actor. Like, so first of all, you're born in New Hampshire too, which I'm a New England based podcast, which I was
Oh, wow.
thrilled to see. Your journey takes you a lot of different places, and I'm throwing a lot at you at once. But whatever you wanted to say about your journey as an actor or boarding school in Quebec, whatever floats your boat, Ntare.
Well, thank you so much for making the connection. We're both New England have our New England roots.
Yeah,
But I think it just goes to show sometimes, that the cream always rises somehow. Even though I
yeah,
didn't have any opportunities, I had auditioned for Peter Pan in second or third grade, but didn't get the role. But that didn't stop me from still trying to pursue my love of the arts.
yeah,
Even when I was in high school and boarding school in Quebec, uh, and had a keen interest in plays that they were mounting. The only options I were offered were running lights or doing technical stuff.
yeah,
But still, I'm here, fortunate to be talking to you about uh, the work that I've been able to do since,
yeah.
and grateful. Yeah, sometimes like a little obstacles can make you that much hungrier.
Yeah, and UVA helps you. I don't want to say find yourself, but it offers more of a platform for what you were ready for. To make that gradual leap forward.
Yeah, it was almost the same thing because I went to University of Virginia for undergrad, and a lot of the main stage productions there weren't really big roles or roles for me that I had the opportunity to, like in my first or second year. So we started our own company, a theater company called the Robeson Players, after the late great Paul Robeson, and we mounted some Athol Fugard plays and just did them in like the school cafeteria. Uh, so that was my first, you know, real time to exercise the muscles in terms of performing.
Yeah,
And the main stage theater caught wind of what we were doing, and then I was fortunate to have like a lead role doing Raisin in the Sun on main stage at the University of Virginia. So yeah, sometimes you just keep chipping away, things will open up.
yeah. Your ability is out of this world. But and I know you've been asked this, and here I am because like in 2018 when I first watched the show, I was like, Ronnie's just this amazing character. Like what he's going through, he tortures himself. Like he's just guilt ridden.
Yeah.
But like it's not just your ability, Ntare. I know you've been told this, but it's your voice that breaks my heart. Like it's a wonderful voice. I'm not saying that, but it's almost like so when I listen to you. When I close, you know who Jim Cummings is, Ntare? He's a famous voice actor. He's done Winnie the Pooh. He's
Okay.
done but he's done these. When I close my eyes, I hear that. I hear
Oh,
you.
wow.
Yeah, you should. I mean, you're capable of all types of acting, but for those looking for an actor for voiceover work, your voice just hits home. It just I don't know how to explain it. I'm lacking
Well,
words for it.
I'm so that's so funny you mentioned that because everyone has said like you'd be great at voiceovers. You do like I have been auditioning for voiceover work for decades. I never book voiceover work.
That is insane.
Like seriously, I even told my reps, I was like there's been certain episodes of show where like I'm almost narrating like the episode. My character's like the voice. I was like, how can I be featured on a TV show like a big show narrating, and I can't like book like a simple voiceover for some. So
And
you
I'm
never
telling
know.
you, when I close my eyes, I hear Winnie the Pooh, I hear Tigger, I hear Paddington Bear. Like I hear a man who was made for acting, but I can't believe that you've never. I can't believe that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I wanted to
Maybe
say this.
that'll change after this conversation. Somebody will
I,
get in and go, "What? We've been overlooking this guy for this long."
but what your voice does, I guess this is your ability too, but it could be calming. It
Yeah.
reflects worry. Like it just adds to this wonderful rapport you have.
Yeah, my
A
wife says I
repertoire you have.
should be. My wife says the Calm app should hire me to do some voiceovers for them.
It is just so perfect, and it adds to like. So let's just say I have one more question before we head into the wonderful Dexter. So we talk about Ronnie. Does a role like that take a toll on you as an actor? Because it feels like to me like what he's going through. I know some actors will say, well, that's part of the process, and that's what I prepare for. I get it, but like you're going to depths that you normally wouldn't go through during a day, right? This is not an easy character. This isn't like, hey, right? It to me it was like it would take a toll on me.
For sure, there were. I think the biggest toll right from the beginning. That show was created by and had a lot of people from Chicago. Chicago people take pride in where they're from, and they want to represent for themselves. And I was, a parent of two Ugandan immigrants.
Yeah.
Never set foot in Chicago. I'd worked at the Steppenwolf Theater. It doesn't give me street cred. So I think initially it was like, what right do you have to do this role? So that was the toll. Really, it was like not an environment where I felt like, I had the right to do that role. So I felt like every step of the way it was like, oh shit, am I going to get fired? I don't know if I'm allowed to say this.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. Yeah.
If I'm about to get to fired, first episode, it was only until like the 5th episode of the show we were filming. I was like, it's too late for them to fire me. Like they're going to have to hire somebody. Like they're going to have to do a lot of work reshooting. So that was at that point where I was like, I think I'm somebody believing what I'm doing. And, but also, yeah, as you said, the depths of the despair that he went through. And also, I think the writers kind of threw me all sorts of obstacles. There was a scene where I had to do chin-ups, like while doing dialogue. And so they really raised the stakes in terms of like having to deliver on a lot of like stressful and difficult scenes. And it's an actor's dream to be able to be thrown so many challenges.
Yeah, and Dad, who went to Harvard Law, must be so proud of you. He must have loved your ascension to where you are today.
Yeah, both parents are looking down from above. I know you'd mentioned your pops and past as well, so they're both looking down on us.
Yeah, let's hope they're high-fiving each other right now.
Yeah.
So the last thing I wanted to ask you before we hop into Dexter was Blood Diamond, the legendary Edward Zwick. I feel like more people should ask you about this because this is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's beautiful. It's lovely. It's Leo's best work.
Yeah.
We talk about an actor who uses his voice differently than yours, more in a different way. But Jamon Hansu uses his very differently. But like, it's a big part of being an actor, just having that voice, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever you want to say about Blood Diamond. I have no creative question here. I just love it. It's so rewatchable.
It was a dream gig. It was my first and only big budget studio feature film. So when you talk about you should be doing voiceover stuff, and I've never done any voiceover stuff, that was the only like big budget film I've done. So it was an incredible like window into like what a massive production is. We were shooting on the coast of Mozambique and in South Africa as well. So to wake up every day, Med's beach bar was on the beach, a literal beach. It wasn't a sound stage with a green screen. It was a literal beach bar that was built in Maputo, Mozambique, which is one of the most beautiful coastlines in the world. So that was my job, to wake up and go be on the beach with Leo and Jennifer Connelly and Ed Zwick. So yeah, I'm still pinching myself talking about it.
I'm a little I'm getting angrier by the minute here because you haven't done voiceover, and you're definitely a big screen star. You're definitely a guy who could do voiceover work. Like you should be like, these are things that you would be hitting home runs with. But you know what? maybe it's going to take some people to catch on to see how great you are, because you are absolutely terrific in Dexter Resurrection. And I want to talk a little about this. 9.2 on IMDb, 7,000 votes, and it dropped on Friday. Not too bad.
Not too shabby, certified fresh, Rotten Tomatoes. You can't ask for more than that. And that's built into the fans because, a show that's been running for 2 decades, better various iterations, has momentum and has a following. And I feel like the writers, Scott Reynolds, my old buddy Scott Reynolds, and Clyde Phillips, and the rest of the team, Michael C. Hall, have delivered time and time again. And there's very few shows that have such a legacy. So what a relief that the audiences are responding so well, and it's a testament to their work. I'm just grateful to be part of this franchise.
Yeah. There, 2 episodes ago, I had a guest in a different role. His name was Buddha Stevens. Your character's name is Blessings Kumar, which is a wonderful name, right? Yeah. How much is this character? This is such a generic question, but how much is he like you? I feel like there's a lot. I feel like he's a good man. He's a good person. Yeah. He's kind. Like, you're kind to me. Like, I see a lot of similarities from what I know on the surface. What do you say to that?
No, I think the similarities are we're both family men. We love our family and being surrounded by family and celebrating family. And I think he's probably a bit more outgoing than I am, a bit more of an extrovert. Yeah. He makes friends very easily. I take a little while to warm up to folks, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When compared to him, he is far more gregarious, I think. And I think as we delve into the season, I think the critics were given 4 episodes, but the further we get in, the further you'll see that we're much further apart.
So I have a few things I want to throw at you that I don't think you're going to be able to answer. One of which is there's a great scene. It's very comical. I can't remember if the guy who escapes Red is a relative or a family friend who loses his ear. Like, he gets, is that a family? I'm sorry, I can't remember if that's a family friend
he's a friend. Yeah, okay, he's a friend of his, because they're colleagues. They work together.
That's right. They do that.
Family friend. He's a colleague from work.
Correct. So he's talking, and Blessings is there too, and they're talking to Dexter, and he's basically describing the man that attacked him. And it word for word is sounding like it's Dexter. This is sounding like, oh my God, like, are we looking at this killer in front of us? It shows your character's trustworthiness, and he's not even worried a little bit. Like, he's okay. Like, it's great to see how kind Blessings really is. And Dexter at one point is almost like, this family is like too kind for me, I feel.
Yeah, I think that's what the writers were really, on point about. They Blessing, his daughter's name's Joy. His wife and mother are named Constance and Prudence. My character is named Blessing. So Blessing, Constance, Joy, Prudence, all of these are elements that are now buffeting Dexter in this new season, and which is a far cry from the usual extremes that he has to live through and navigate. So I think that the writers were really intentional about bringing some joy, some blessings, and some constance Dexter's way.
Yeah, and you could tell Blessings is so proud of what he's created, how hard he's worked in life. Like, you could see that pride. There's a few dinner scenes, where Dexter's there, and it's just like the pride that Blessings has. It's really adding to what kind of character he has, which also makes me very, very nervous, because people that are close to Dexter, it always ends horribly, Ntare. It ends terrible, and I'm like, I've seen all 4 episodes. I'm like, I love this character. I love him. Yeah. And I'm like, this is. Then I started thinking, I'm like, oh my God, this is not good, because I saw that you're in 10 episodes, which I guess is good. But whatever you wanted to say, the Dexter jinx or the Dexter, I don't know what you would call it.
Well, I think the writers are going to keep you on the edge of your seats for sure throughout the season. And I can only say it gets more complicated and intertwined. And I'll just say this: if Dexter's living under your roof,
yeah,
something's going down.
I'm so heartbroken. I have a few more questions. Thank you for all this time. You've been so kind. Thank you. So you've seen The Sopranos, correct?
Yes.
So I've asked this question before. You've seen Breaking Bad with Walter White. I'm assuming but okay. Is Dexter in that conversation? Is he better or worse than those guys? Because those guys, Tony Soprano, Walter White, they're beloved by audiences. They do terrible, terrible things, and audiences embrace them. Dexter, while we just talked about, he goes after the worst of the worst, but also those near him kind of find their way to a horrible fate sometimes, right? His sister, so on and so forth. What do you think? Is that what kind of narrative is that? Do you think that they're alike, those people? How would you compare those three people?
Well, I mean, if we look at let's look at Sopranos. It's a crime family, right?
Correct.
Let's look at Walter White. He had a medical issue, right?
Yep.
That he needed to get, he couldn't afford treatment for.
He had cancer. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So in Dexter's case, I don't know that either of those are comparable. Dexter's in law enforcement.
True.
So in law enforcement, there's those criminals that get away. So justice is not always served. So what do you do in those situations?
Yeah, but you could make the argument. That's a great argument, by the way. Like, you could make an argument that he has more responsibility than those other guys because of being a look. So, but yeah, it's just a fun thing to pick up. Yeah, it's fun to see who audiences are drawn to. 9.2, since Friday. So clearly, audiences love Dexter. It makes me wonder what, in a real case scenario, if he existed in 2025, if this was an actual person doing this stuff, I think he would be embraced by people in the world. I do.
I mean, we've actually, unfortunately, had headlines where people started cheering for vigilantes.
Yes.
So, I mean, you're not too far from the truth with that guess.
Yeah.
And I think the response to this show is, sort of speaking to that need for seeking justice when justice is not served.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's not the only character. For those listening, I'll be very vague about this. He's not the only character in this show that's based on revenge, kind of does things that's not as horrible as some of the serial killers that we see in this season. So I'll leave it there, but there's really some characters that people are going to see in episodes 3 and 4. My last thing for you, I know he does more than one thing, but what does Michael C. Hall do really well?
Oh, he brings people together. I mean, he's bringing 7 millions of people together. Right now, for decades upon decades, year after year, he delivers. He's like a prize fighter who just keeps accumulating belts, and everyone wants to be around him. He's a phenom for sure.
It seems like so this is your obviously your first appearance with him in the universe. He seems like he embraces, like, you bring people together. That's a great way of saying it, because it seems like you guys have been at this since 2013, since Dexter came out, but like the way he kind of encompasses you, the way you fit into this cast, into this show, it's just really awesome to see.
And that speaks to his talents and the talents of Clyde Phillips and Scott Reynolds and the rest of the creative team for assembling a team. You can have like one star player, but you need the support team as well around that to help to lift them up and elevate the whole thing. And there's no weak link at all that I see. I'll leave that up to you guys, the critics, to decide, but I don't see any weak links in Dexter Resurrection. They've been phenomenal.
Why do I have a feeling I'm going to be one of the only people that cries during Dexter? Because I am so worried for blessings. I am so worried for blessings. But listen, I am a big fan. I think the world of you as an actor and as a human being. And thank you so much for sharing a couple minutes of your time. And I really appreciate it, Ntare. I'm a big fan, and I always will be. And I'll be looking for you in major motion picture releases and some voiceover.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm glad both of our folks are looking down on us with smiles, and thank you for spreading the word and sharing the love.
Yeah, you're a kind man. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.